Hello everyone, it is I, Mitch. We are back again with a hand-picked list of monthly best PC games for October 2021. The games featured in this list are all releasing this month, hoping that these don't get postponed due to the big mess we are all in right now. Without further ado, let's start with our first game. First up, Far Cry 6. It's an action-adventure first-person shooter game, with gameplay similar to previous Far Cry games, with players using makeshift weapons, vehicles, and hiring amigos, the new Fangs for Hire system, to topple the tyrannical regime. Far Cry 6 takes place on the fictional Caribbean island of Yara, which is inspired by Cuba and described as the largest Far Cry playground to date, and a tropical paradise frozen in time. It is ruled by El Presidente Anton Castillo, a fascist dictator with full control over the island, who is raising his son Diego, Anthony Gonzalez, to follow in his rule. The player takes the role of a local Yaran named Danny Rojas, a former soldier in the Yaran Armed Forces turned guerrilla soldier fighting for freedom who attempts to restore their nation to its former glory. This time, the player can select Danny's gender at the start of the game. Far Cry 6 is one of the most anticipated games of this year. Next up, FIFA 22. It is a virtual soccer sports game. This is almost the same game as the older FIFA games, but have some graphical upgrades and new animation technology make that beautiful game feel better. With goals demanding a more deliberate and rewarding playstyle, there are also tiny tweaks that improve FIFA 22's career mode and Volta Football ahead of a proper revamp. Now, you can also bypass training days and simulate them at the highest rank you've previously achieved, which cuts out a lot of the menu monotony. A new change in career mode is the Create a Club option in Manager Career. Unlike previous titles, where players could only take control of an existing team, this year, players have the option to take to the pitch with a club built from scratch. It's a must-play game for all the soccer fans. Next, Age of Empires 4. This is a real-time strategy video game developed by Relic Entertainment and is the fourth installment of the Age of Empires series. The game's events take place in the Middle Ages. There are many campaigns in the game, and, among others, there is a campaign telling the story about Norman's conquest of England. Most game mechanics will migrate directly from Age of Empires 2. For example, resources require drop sites, stone has been added back as a resource, and monks can convert units. When holding a relic, monks have a conversion area of effect. This mechanic was intended for Age of Empires 3, but was not added. There will be 8 civilizations available at release date. These are the English, the Chinese, the Mongols, the Delhi Sultanate, the French, the Abbasid dynasty, the Holy Roman Empire, and the Russians. Yeah, most of the world's old big shots clashing each other. Coming up next, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, an upcoming action-adventure game where the player assumes control of Peter Quill in a third-person perspective. The player can utilize Star-Lord's elemental gun to defeat enemies and fly through the air using his jet boots. Other members of the titular team, which include Gamora, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, and Drax the Destroyer, are not directly playable as they are controlled by artificial intelligence, but players can issue commands to them during combat. Each character has their own unique skills and abilities, which can be chained together to inflict more damage. As the player combats enemies, a meter will build up that allows you to unleash a special ability known as a Team Huddle, which prompts Star-Lord to create a motivational speech and play a song to inspire his teammates. A good speech will grant the Guardians gameplay advantages, though Star-Lord's abilities will be boosted regardless of the quality of the speech. A great game for this franchise's fans. And coming in next, Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles. It's an action-adventure mode that follows Tanjiro through the story of Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba anime, as he faces demons in order to turn his sister Nezuko, who has become a demon, back into a human. The game adapts the story up through the Mugen Train arc. In other words, everything the anime series and the movie has gotten so far. No worries about manga spoilers, it seems. The game features voices casted in both English and Japanese language. The game also offers a versus mode where characters from the anime, including Tanjiro and Nezuko, can be freely matched against each other in a 2v2 setting with up to 2 players, online or offline. The game has and feels like one of the best-looking anime video games out there, with beautiful-looking graphics and visual effects. If you have seen the anime, you can't miss this one. If not, then check out the anime first. It's a blast. Coming in next, Back 4 Blood, a multiplayer first-person shooter game, and is considered to be the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, as it is being developed by the creators of the original game. The game takes place after a worldwide outbreak caused by a newly discovered parasite. Most of humanity has been infected and turned into the Ridden, leaving players in a post-apocalyptic world. The gameplay of Back 4 Blood is largely similar to Left 4 Dead, featuring 4-player cooperative games and 8 players in a PvP mode with a focus on multiplayer and replayability. A new feature of Back 4 Blood is cards. At the first of each level, players need to build their deck with cards that adjust various elements of gameplay, such as modifying the player's health, damage, and stamina. Along with player cards, the AI director will also use corruption cards against the player to hinder their progress. Up next, Moonglow Bay. Moonglow Bay is a relaxing, slice-of-life fishing RPG, driven by an emotional story and diverse characters in a rich and dynamic world. Moonglow Bay is set along the eastern Canadian coastline during the 1980s and offers players a diverse and emotionally charged story, complemented by relaxing, slice-of-life fishing RPG. In-game, you play as a rookie angler, struggling to fulfill your partner's final wish by keeping a business afloat in the face of impending bankruptcy. With your journal and rod in hand, you can explore the furthest reaches of the ocean, from frigid glaciers to boiling geysers, and learn to cast nets, set traps, and fish through ice, documenting over 100 varied aquatic species while uncovering the secrets of Moonglow Bay. Up next, Jett, The Far Shore. It is an action-adventure exploration game where players assume control of May, a jet scout, who must explore an ocean planet and examine its wildlife, while tracing the source of a mysterious signal known as the Him Wave. In-game, May commands a vehicle named Jett in order to quickly navigate the sea and land. May can speed up the jet scout using thrusters and use abilities like hopping into the air and rolling. Though performing these actions in short succession may short-circuit the engine. The main goal is to observe the reactions of these wildlife to external stimuli. The game does not emphasize combat and requires the players to carefully interact with these native creatures so as to minimize the disturbance. Players must also make use of the landscape of the planet to avoid or escape from conflict. Coming in next, the Dark Pictures Anthology, House of Ashes. It is a series of standalone, cinematic branching horror games where the decisions you make in the game determine the story and outcome you receive. It is the 3rd game in the series. In House of Ashes, at the close of the Iraq War, special forces hunting for weapons of mass destruction unearth something far deadlier, a buried Sumerian temple containing a nest of unearthly creatures to survive the night below. So, you can fight your way out of a buried Sumerian temple against hordes of deadly monsters that have claimed you as their prey. Your crew is composed of 2 opposing factions that rarely see eye to eye. You can put aside your character's rivalries to fight together as one. The game also has multiplayer mode, and you can share your story online with a friend or aim for safety in numbers through the offline 5-player Pass the Pad mode. Last on the list, Riders Republic. It's a collection of sports video games that include mountain biking, skiing, snowboarding, wingsuit flying, and rocket wingsuiting. In-game, more than 50 players can compete against each other in races. In addition, players can also play a 6v6 competitive multiplayer mode named Tricks Battle Arena. In this mode, each team competes in an arena and needs to perform as many tricks as possible in order to score trick points. The team which has the highest score would win the match. The game is set in an open world which meshes 7 distinct American national parks. The game also features a social hub in which players can meet and interact with each other. The game also features a career mode, which players engage in 6 different activities. Each of them has their own progression path. You can also join competitions like UCI Mountain Bike World Cup, Red Bull Rampage, and the X Games, and signing with real-world sports sponsors. And this wraps up our best PC games list for this month. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. See you next time. Bye.